Welcome to the multidisciplinary team meeting. Today we're here solely to discuss the pending discharge and plan for Fred Cooper's ongoing care with regards to his mobility. I'm Abby and I'm the adult nurse who's been mainly working with Fred since his admission into hospital. My role is to make sure that Fred and Mavis both understand what we have all discussed today, as well as making sure that their opinions and views are adhered to. Historically, Fred and Mavis would not be invited to this meeting. However, as person-centred holistic care is at the forefront of our decision-making, then it is our priority to make sure that they are both involved with all the planning of Fred's care. It is our responsibility to empower people to share with us their decisions about the care.
My name is Miller, the social worker who has been working alongside both Fred and Mavis. My aim today is to address all the personal, financial, environmental and social challenges that they both face. As Abby has highlighted today, we're here to discuss Fred's mobility and how we are able to assist him and Mavis with maintaining his independence for as long as possible. As his social worker, I recognise that there are other factors involved, such as Fred's concern with his medications, his abdominal ascites, respiratory difficulties, social involvement and later his need for palliative care. Factors which are all important to Fred's holistic care is to be discussed in more detail at a later date.
Hello, I'm Nikki, I'm a physiotherapist. However, I will also be reporting for the occupational therapist today. As a physiotherapist, I have reviewed Fred since admission and assessed Fred as a whole, not just his ongoing medical condition, but also the effects of how this impacts on Fred's mobility and the external environment. The occupational therapist has assessed Fred and worked alongside him, finding strategies which would improve Fred's ability to perform certain tasks both in his daily living and external environment, hence promoting his independence. The occupational therapist has assessed Fred's mental, physical, developmental, social and emotional needs and factors which affect them.
Hello, my name is Fred Cooper. I am 70 years old and have recently spent time in hospital after a fall at home during the night. In recent years, I have suffered multiple heart attacks which have led to my recent diagnosis. I feel quite afraid of being on my own since my fall and want to know if I am going to be able to spend the rest of my days with my dear wife and best friend Mavis as independently as possible. I am very afraid of falling again and recognise that my walking is not as good as it once was. I hope that in this meeting today you will be able to give me the answers that I need.
Hello, I'm Mavis Cooper, Fred's wife. Generally, I feel as though I'm fit and healthy for my age. I've attended this meeting with my husband to find out what help we can get, which will give us the best possible chance of living our lives as normal as possible. Fred is my dear husband, of whom I've cared for throughout our marriage, but it is only since his fall I have realised that I need some help. I now understand that it is not only Fred who is affected by his fall, but it has made me see that he needs the help of all you good people to stay fit and healthy, well, as much as he can be.
Fred, can you tell us how you had your fall?
I was getting up to go to the toilet, which is normality to me. I walked down the corridor and I lost my balance and I was really sleepy. The next thing I knew, Mavis was trying to help me get up.
How did that make you feel?
I was shook up and worried for myself and Mavis.
I was unable to help Fred get up. It has really knocked his confidence.
Well, Fred, Mavis, after reviewing Fred's medication and the times he normally takes the furosemide, it has been discussed that by taking it in the morning, Fred will no longer feel the need to go to use the toilet so late at night, which will reduce the chances of this happening again. Nikki, has the occupational therapist recommended any aids for Fred, that Fred can use when needing the toilet at night?
The occupational therapist has suggested that Fred uses the urinary bottles during the night. However, we will order a commode for Fred to have at home. Fred, I have had a discussion with you with regards to having your medication in the morning than rather at night, as you didn't want to interfere with your social interactions.
Me taking the tablet in the morning means I always need to go to the toilet when I'm at the pensioners club.
Why don't we see how you get on whilst taking the furosemide in the morning with your breakfast, like you have been in hospital? Therefore, by the time you go to the pensioners club, the effects of the tablet will have worked through your system. If this is still a problem, then we can review this in 6 weeks.
Let's give it a go and see how we get on, Fred.
Okay, I suppose it's worth a try.
Well, Fred, Mavis, as you're aware, there is a lot of support for both of you inside and outside of hospital. Our aim is to provide a care plan which suits both of you. One of the main issues which I'm concerned about is how you're going to mobilise once at home prior to your fall. Nikki, I believe you had a visit with Mavis to the house.
Yes, I did. Although there is only one set of stairs, there will be access limitations for Fred as his illness progresses. Following his stairs assessment in the gym yesterday, Fred needs the assistance of handrails, which he relies on to manage the stairs and maintain his posture. However, the occupational therapist has recommended that Fred would benefit from a perch stool, a bath seat, a toilet seat with a frame, and some additional handrails.
So, in terms of his mobility then, Nikki, as his illness progresses, can we put a plan into place?
Reviewing Fred's core care plan, which was put into place during admission, Fred has come a long way with his rehabilitation. Acutely, Fred was having trouble maintaining his oxygen saturations due to being dyspneic. This has impacted on Fred's mobility because his body is not getting enough oxygen to maintain physical activity before he became breathless. However, Fred has also been suffering from abdominal ascites. This has also contributed to his breathlessness. This can put pressure on your heart and on your lungs. I've worked with Fred and given him some breathing exercises to do and educated Mavis on how and when to do them. Fred's ascites has impacted on Fred's mobility as he is uncomfortable when performing basic tasks. I've spoken to Abby to ask for a review on Fred's freeze-mide and a consultant to review. This is restricting some tasks he can perform and why he relies on Mavis to help him with all his ablutions. I would suggest Fred continues with increasing his mobility by carrying out the exercises we've been working on as an inpatient. And I've shown Mavis on how to help Fred should he need any assistance. However, input from the community physiotherapist would benefit Fred in the immediate future. He would also benefit from a referral to the falls prevention team.
Yes, the ascites is impacting on Fred's mobility. I've spoken to the dietitian and the consultant in respect to this. The dietitian has recommended that Fred goes on low sodium diet and requires daily weights along with a fluid balance, which has commenced in hospital. Following on from this discussion on Fred's breathlessness, I've spoken to him about health promotion with regards to his smoking habit and given him a short leaflet on the benefits to his long-term health if he was to stop. The consultant has requested Fred is reviewed as an outpatient with his cardiology clinic within 4 weeks of discharge. Mavis, are you happy with the changes in Fred's diet?
Yes. Does this mean just not adding salt? And these walking aids, will my Fred still be able to go to Pensioners Club?
The dietitian will visit Fred before discharge from hospital. And Nikki, will Fred still be requiring the use of a frame on discharge?
From my perspective, as long as Fred is able to use aids such as a walking stick and maybe a Zimmer frame later on, there's no reason why he can't. What do you think, Millie?
Well, it is a necessity for Fred that he maintains his social contact, but also important for you, Mavis, so you don't feel isolated. Fred, if you're having a day where you're struggling to walk long distances, then transport can be arranged for you in order to get you both to Pensioners Club. I understand that your neighbours, Tom and Andrew, visit you on a regular basis to help with shopping. Do you know if they're still able to do this?
Thank you, Millie, but I wanted to be walking for as long as possible. Tom and Andrew are good to us. They are always happy to help us, and besides, Mavis always makes them a lovely cup of tea and a slice of her Victoria sponge.
Would you feel better about that, Fred, knowing there's a plan?
Yes, that's put my mind at ease.
Now that has been conversed, shall we discuss a package of care?
Yes, that would be great, as I know my wife Mavis could do with some help. She does far too much for me. If only our sons did not live so far away, then maybe we could have some help.
If only I had a daughter. I know our sons are both happy. They're living their own lives and they don't need the burden of their old mum and dad.
Do you think you would benefit for some help?
I've always tried to look after my Fred to the best of my ability. I don't want any strangers in my house. I enjoy looking after my Fred.
Fred, Mavis, at the beginning of this meeting, you indicated that you would like some help. What help did you mean?
Just some aids to help with walking and washing.
Yes, Mavis, this is why we've prescribed Fred with the perch stool and the walking aid so he can mobilise and maintain his independence.
They have helped, thank you, Nikki. What my wife is trying to say is that she feels it is her job to care for me, for better and for worse, sickness and health, which is what she keeps saying to me.
I understand it's important to you, Mavis, but be reassured that the help is always there if you require it, or you just need to ask. So I will do the referral to the Community Intermediate Care Team. This will provide 8 weeks of hospital standard care which would then be implemented into the community and evaluated after 6 weeks. The physiotherapist, occupational therapist and falls prevention team are there for an ongoing assessment of Fred's mobility. The district nurses will do daily weights, monitor Fred's fluid balance and carry out any routine bloods that he should require. Millie, will you arrange the meeting for the evaluation of Fred's care plan?
Yes. Will you inform me when you've handed over to the district nursing team?
Yes. Are you happy with that, Fred? Mavis, do you have any concerns? Are you happy with the information I gave you on the changes to your medication and the health promotion leaflet?
Yes, thank you, nurse. I no longer have any concerns after our discussion. I'm just looking forward to getting home so Mavis can make me a cup of tea.
There is a lot of information to take in from today. However, it is a relief knowing that there is plenty of help for us both when we need it.